Welcome back, dear students. I'm back with the lecture series of machine learning here, and we are here on lecture number 17 today, where I'm going to start a very new topic, which is called artificial neural network or ANN. So, in today's lecture, I'm going to tell you about the artificial neural network, what exactly are they, what are the different components, what is the principle on which they work, and what are the merits and demerits of artificial neural network. So, to learn the topic, please be with me, keep on learning, and stay tuned. So, this is our lecture number 17 on neural networks. These will be the objectives of today's lecture. We'll see the introduction part of artificial neural networks, what exactly are ANNs. We'll see artificial and human neurons, the biological inspiration on which the neural networks are based, what is the learning process of ANNs, the network layers that it has. It has multi-layer network system that we are going to understand. Then what is the concept of perceptron, the majorly important backpropagation algorithm it has, then the recurrent networks, the associative memory it takes use of, the self-organizing maps, that would be support macro machines, which uses them, and the PCA. And lastly, the applications to speech, vision, and control problems. May be possible that we will not be able to cover up all these topics in today's lecture, so I'm going to continue with these topics in lecture number 18 as well. So keep on learning. So, dear students, see, the artificial neural network or the ANNs, they are usually or they are simply known as the neural networks, which are nothing but the computing systems which are vaguely inspired by the biological neural networks that constitutes the living organism's brain. Okay. Now, this ANN is actually based on a collection of connected units or nodes, which we call artificial neurons. Just like in our brains, the nervous system is consisting of several of neurons which are interconnected to each other to pass the information. In similar manner, even in artificial neural networks, there are connected units or nodes which we call artificial neurons, which loosely model the neurons in a biological brain. So each connection, like the synapses in the biological brain, can transmit a signal to other neurons. Now, an artificial neuron that receives a signal then processes it and can signal neurons connected to it. So here, the signal at a connection is a real number, and the output of each neuron is computed by some non-linear function of the sum of its inputs. Now the connections are called edges, right? The connections between two nodes or the two artificial neurons is called edges. Now neurons and edges typically, it have a weight that adjusts as learning proceeds. So the weight increases or decreases the strength of the signal at a connection. Neurons may have a threshold such that a signal is sent only if the aggregate signal crosses the threshold, right? But typically, neurons are aggregated into layers. Different layers may perform different transformations on their inputs. Signals travel from the first layer, the input layer, to the last layer, which is called the output layer, and possibly after traversing the layers multiple times. So, this is what the neural network has. So, precisely if we talk about ANNs, it is a branch of artificial intelligence. It is basically a system which is modeled on human brains. And as the name suggests, it is a connectionism, it is a connection mechanism which is parallelly distributed process, neurocomputing or machine learning algorithm, and finally it is artificial neural network. Now, developing this ANN was done in 1940s, and it experienced a wide popularity in the late 80s. So for 40 years, the experimentations and the research work went on with this ANN. So this was a result of discovery of new techniques and developments in PCs. Now some ANNs are models of biological neural networks and some of them are not. Now, ANN is just a processing device, an algorithm, or it is actually a hardware whose design actually was motivated by the design of functioning of a human brain. As I have already told you, it was just an inspiration from the human brain. Right. Now, ANN's design is what distinguishes neural network from other mathematical techniques. It is a network of many simple processors like units or neurons, and each unit has a small amount of local memory. So the units are connected by unidirectional communication channels or connections which carry numeric data. Okay. Now the units operate only on their local data and on the inputs they receive via connections. Now how is the training performed on ANN? See, the neural networks learn or they are trained by processing examples, like each of which contains a known input and a result, forming probability weighted associations between the two, which are stored within the data structure of the net itself. Now, the training of a neural network from a given example is usually conducted by determining the difference between the processed output of the network and a target output. So, this difference is actually the error. Now, the network then adjusts its weighted associations according to a learning rule and using this error value. Now, successive adjustments will cause the neural network to produce output which is increasingly similar to the target output. After a sufficient number of these adjustments, the training can be terminated based upon certain criteria. This is known as supervised learning that we have seen in the earlier lectures. Now, such systems learn to perform tasks by considering examples, generally without being programmed with task specific rules. For example, in image recognition, they might learn to identify images that contain cats by analyzing example images that have been mutually labeled as cat or no cat, and using the results to identify cats in other images. They do this without any prior knowledge of cats. For example, that they have fur, tails, whiskers, and cat like faces. Instead, they automatically generate identifying characteristics from the examples they process. Right. Now, ANNs have, begin as an attempt to exploit the architecture of human brain to perform tasks that conventional algorithms had little success with. Now, they soon reoriented towards improving uh, the empirical results, mostly abandoning attempts to remain true to the biological pursuits. Now, neurons are connected to each other in various patterns to allow the output of some neurons to become the input of others. The network forms a directed weighted graph in this case. We have seen directed weighted graphs, the ones which have the directions together with the weights on its edges or the connections, right? So, ANN or the artificial neural network consists of a collection of simulated neurons. Each neuron is a node which is connected to other nodes via links that correspond to biological axis synapse dendrite connections. And each link has a weight which determines the strength of one node's influence or another. Now, next we'll look upon to the components of the ANN. Before going to that, just understand that it is a powerful technique called black box to solve many real world problems, and they have the ability to learn from the experience in order to improve their performance and to adapt themselves to the changes of the environment, just like our human brain do. In addition to this, they are able to deal with incomplete information or some kind of unstructured or noisy data that can be very effective, especially in situations where it is not possible to define the rules or steps that lead to the solutions of a problem. So, once trained, the ANN is able to recognize similarities when presented with a new input pattern, resulting in predicted output pattern. So, what all an ANN can do? These are the things. It can compute a known function. It can approximate an unknown function. It can do pattern recognition. It can do signal processing. Digital signal processing can be done, and there are a lot many things. It can learn all of them. As I have told you, ANNs are just the biological inspiration of our human brains. And the BNNs are much more complicated in their elementary structure than the mathematical models which we are using for ANN. So animals are able to react adaptively to the changes in their external and in the internal environment. And they use their nervous system to perform these behaviors. An appropriate model or the simulation of the nervous system should be able to produce similar responses and behaviors in artificial systems. So the nervous system is built by relatively simple units, the neurons. So copying their behavior and functionality should be the solution. So here are some of the facts about a human brain, that it is still considered to be a very complex one, and we are not, as a human, we are not able to understand all of its working. And there are about 10 to 11 billion neurons in your human cortex, each connected to an average of 10,000 others, and in total 60 trillion synapses of connections. So the brain is a highly complex and non-linear parallel computer sort of information processing system. Whereas if we talk about ANN, it is a again distributed processor that has natural propensity knowledge, and it makes available for use. It means that the knowledge is acquired by the network through a learning process. The strength of interconnections between neurons is implemented by means of the synaptic weights, which is used to store the knowledge. And the learning process is a procedure of the adapting the weights with a learning algorithm in order to do so. Right? So now we'll understand what is the principle of brain processing. Right? Now see, how our brain manipulates with the patterns is the massive parallelism, connectionism, and associative distributed memory. All these three things are used for processing our brain. This is a diagram of biological neuron, picture of it, to see how these neurons are working. This is the biological neuron as a diagram. So here you can see this is the cell structure. These connections are called the dendrites. Here you see the connection. These are called dendrites, and when they are connected to other these things, they are axon. The connection between the dendrites and this, right? So this is the structure. So here you understand how it happens. The information transmission happens at the synapses, right? So these are your synapses where the information transmission is done. Now, the synaptic connection strands among neurons are used to store the acquired knowledge. So, whatever knowledge you have acquired, they will be stored over here. Now, in the biological system, learning involves adjustment to the synaptic connections between the neurons. Now, as I told you, let us just understand the components of ANNs. So first and foremost component of ANN is the neuron itself, which is which is the basic component. So ANN are just composed of artificial neurons, which are conceptually derived from the biological neurons. Each artificial neuron has inputs and produces a single output which can be sent to multiple other neurons. The inputs can be the feature values of a sample of external data, such as images or documents, or they can be the outputs of the other neurons. So the outputs of the final output neurons of the neural net accomplish the task, such as recognizing an object in an image. Right. Now, to find the output of the neuron, first we take the weighted sum of all the inputs weighted by the weights of the connections from the inputs to the neurons. We add a bias term to this sum. This weighted sum is sometimes called the activation. Now this weighted sum is then passed to a activation function to produce the output. The initial inputs are external data such as images and documents. So the ultimate outputs accomplish the task such as recognizing an object in an image. Now the second important component of ANN is the connection and weights. Now the network consists of connections, each connection providing the output of one neuron as an input to another neuron. Each connection is assigned a weight that represents its relative importance. A given neuron can have multiple input and output connections. Now, the third component of ANNs are the propagation function. Now, the propagation function computes the input to a neuron from the outputs of its predecessor neurons and their connections as a weighted sum. A bias term can be added to the result of this propagation. Next component of ANN is called the organization. Now, the neurons are typically organized into multiple layers, especially when we are doing deep learning. Neurons of one layer connect only to the neurons of the immediately preceding and immediately following layers. The layer that receives external data is the input layer, and the layer that produces the ultimate result is the output layer. In between them are zero or more hidden layers. Now, single layer and unlayered networks are also used. Between two layers, multiple connection patterns are possible. They can be fully connected, and with every neuron in one layer connecting to every neuron in the next layer. They can be pooling, where a group of neurons in one layer connect to a single neuron in the next layer, thereby reducing the number of neurons in that layer. So neurons with only such connections form a directed acyclic graph and are called feed-forward networks. Right? Alternatively, networks that allow connections between neurons in the same or the previous layers are known as recurrent networks. Next component is called the hyperparameter, which is a constant parameter whose value is set before the learning process begins. The value of parameters are defined via or derived via learning. Examples of hyperparameter includes the learning rate, the number of hidden layers, and the bed size. The values of some hyperparameters can be dependent on those of other hyperparameters. For example, the size of some layers can depend on the overall number of layers. Now, the next important component of ANN is the learning part. Now, learning is just the adaptation of the network to better handle a task by considering sample observations. Learning involves adjusting the weights of the network to improve the accuracy of the result. Now, this is done by minimizing the observed errors. Learning is complete when examining additional observations does not usefully reduce the error rate. Even after learning, the error rate typically does not reach zero. If after learning the error rate is too high, the network typically must be redesigned. Practically, this is done by defining a cost, that function that is evaluated periodically during learning. As long as its output continue to decline, learning continues. The cost is frequently defined as a statistic whose value can only be approximated. The outputs are actually numbers, so when the error is low, the difference between the output is small. Learning attempts to reduce the total number of differences across the observations. Most learning models can be viewed as a straightforward application of optimization theory and statistical estimation. The next one is the learning rate. The learning rate defines the size of the corrective steps that the model takes to adjust for errors in each observation. A high learning rate shortens the training time but with lower ultimate accuracy, while a lower learning rate takes longer but with the potential for greater accuracy. Now, optimizations such as quick crop are primarily aimed at speeding up this error minimization, while other improvements mainly try to increase reliability. In order to avoid oscillation inside the network, such as alternating connection rates, and to improve the rates of convergence, refinements use an adaptive learning rate that increases or decreases as appropriate. The concept of momentum allows the balance between the gradient and the previous change to be weighted such that the weight adjustment depends to some degree on the previous change. A momentum close to zero emphasizes the gradient, while a value close to 1 emphasizes the last change. Now, the next component is cost function. While it is possible to define a cost function ad hoc, frequently the choice is determined by the function's desirable properties or because it arises from the model. Next is the backpropagation. The backpropagation is a method which is used to adjust the connection rates to compensate for each error found during learning. The error amount is effectively divided among the connections. Technically, backpropagation calculates the gradient or the derivative of the cost function which is associated with a given state with respect to the weights. The weight updates can be done via stochastic gradient descent or other methods, such as extreme learning machines and no-prop networks, training without backtracking, weightless networks, and non-connectionist neural network. That was about the artificial neurons. Now let us look at the components of biological neurons. So here, soma or a body cell is a large round central body in which almost all the logical functions of the neurons are realized. Right, so this is the soma here. Now the axon or the output. It is actually a nerve fiber which is attached to the soma which can serve as a final input channel or output channel of the neuron. And axon is usually, it is very high branched. Now the third one is the dendrites or the input part which represents a highly branching tree of fibers These long, irregularly shaped nerve fibers are attached to soma, carrying electrical signals to the cell. The fourth component of biological neural network is the synapses, which are the point of contact between the axon of one cell and the dendrite of another, regulating a chemical connection whose strength affects the input to the cell. Now, these are some of the properties of ANNs. One says it is learning from the examples. The examples could be labeled or unlabeled. Second is the adaptivity, which is changing the connection strands to learn the things. Third is the non-linearity. The non-linear activation functions are actually essential. Fourth is the fault tolerance. If one of the neurons or connections is damaged, the whole network still works quite well. Now, what are the three major learning paradigms for this artificial neural network? Applications, let's see the applications of ANN first, where the first application is the classification. We can do classification using ANN. Uh, in classification, where what all are the fields, like in marketing, we can do consumer spending pattern classification. In defense, radar and sonar image classification can be done. While we are in agriculture and fishing, we can do food, fish, and catch grading. And in medicines, ultrasound and electrocardiogram image classification, ECGs, EEGs, any kind of medical diagnosis can be done using ANNs. The second important application of ANNs are the recognition and the identification. Now, in general, computing and telecommunications, the speech, vision, and handwriting recognition can be done using ANNs. When we talk about finance, in finance, signature verification and banknote verification, all these things are done by ANNs. Then comes the assessment part, where in engineering, product inspection, monitoring, and controlling is done by this ANN. In defense, target tracking can be done. In security, motion detection, surveillance, image analysis, and fingerprint matching, all these things can be done by ANNs. Now, when we talk about forecasting and prediction, in finance, foreign exchange rate and stock market forecasting can be done. Then in agriculture, crop yield forecasting, deciding the category of potential food items, all these things can be done. And when we talk about marketing, it is sales forecasting that we can do. And finally, the meteorology, weather predictions can be done using ANS. So, who all are the ones who use ANNs? So, obviously, there are computer scientists who want to find out about the properties of non-symbolic information processing with neural nets and about learning systems in general. Then, the statisticians use neural nets, which are, as flexible non-linear regression classification models. Then we have engineers of many kind who exploit the capabilities of neural network in many areas, such as signal processing and automatic control. Then we have cognitive scientists, which view neural networks as a possible apparatus to describe models of thinking and consciousness. Then there are neurophysiologists, which who use neural networks to describe and explore medium level brain function. Then we have physicists, which use neural networks to model phenomena in statistical mechanics and for a lot of other tasks. Then we have biologists who use neural networks to interpret nucleotide sequences. And then there are philosophers and some other people who may also be interested in neural networks for various reasons. These are the operations that can be done in biological neural networks. This is the architecture of ANN. The architecture consists of many artificial neurons that are linked together according to a specific network architecture. And the objective of neural network is just to transform the inputs into meaningful outputs. Neurons in this architecture are arranged in layers where neurons work by processing information. They receive and provide information in form of spikes. And the artificial neuron receives one or more inputs representing the one or more dendrites. At each neuron, every input has an associated weight which modifies the strength of each input and sums them together. The sum of each neuron is passed through a function known as an activation function or transfer function in order to produce an output representing a biological neuron's axon. And this is what you are seeing. Each neuron takes one or more inputs and produces an output. At each neuron, every input has an associated weight, which modifies the strength of each input. The neuron simply adds together all the inputs and calculate an output to be passed on. You can see the model of a neuron. Now, what are the models of a neuron? There are three special elements. There is a set of synapses or a connection link, each of which is characterized by a weight or a strength of its own, denoted by WKJ. Then specifically a signal Xj at the input synapse J connected to neuron K is multiplied by the synaptic WKJ. Then the second element is an adder for summing the input signals weighted by respective synaptic strengths of neuron in a linear operation. Then third is the activation function for limiting of the amplitude of the output of the neuron to limited range. The activation function is referred to as a squashing here. Now, what is the bias? The bias has the effect of increasing or lowering the net input of the activation function depending on whether it is you know um, plus or minus. Now, even there are different types of activation function. We'll be covering up in the coming lecture. I'm not going to cover these whole things right now. Now, when we talk about ANNs, they have evolved into a broad family of techniques that have advanced the state of the art across multiple domains. The simplest type have one or more static components, including number of units, number of layers, unit weights, and topology. Now, dynamic types allow one or more of these to evolve via learning. The latter are much more complicated, but can shorten learning periods and produce better results. Some types allow require learning to be supervised by the operator, while other operates independently. Some types operate purely in hardware, while others are purely software and run on general purpose computers. Some of the main breakthroughs include convolutional neural network that have proven particularly successful in processing visual and other two-dimensional data. Long short-term memory avoid the vanishing gradient problem and can handle signals that have a mix of low and high frequency components, aiding large vocabulary speech recognition, text to speech synthesis, and photoreal talking heads. Competitive networks such as generative adversarial networks, in which multiple networks compete with each other on tasks such as winning a game or on deceiving the opponent about the authenticity of an input. Now, what is the network design here? See, the neural architecture search, that is NAS, uses machine learning to automate, ANN design. Various approaches to NAS have designed networks that compare well with hand-designed systems. The basic search algorithm is to to propose a candidate model, evaluate it against a dataset, and use the results as feedback to teach the NAS network. Available systems include AutoML and AutoKeras. Design issues include deciding the number, type, and connectedness of network layers, as well as the size of each and the connection type. Hyperparameters must also be defined as a part of the design, governing matters such as how many neurons are in each layer, learning rate, step, stride, depth, receptive feet, and paddings. Now, using artificial neural network requires an understanding of the characteristics like the choice of the model. This depends on the data representation and the application. Overly complex models are usually slow in learning, so you should not allow or you should not choose such kind of things. Then the learning algorithm. There's a numerous trade-offs exist between learning algorithms. Almost any algorithm will work well with the correct hyperparameters for training on particular data set. However, selecting and turning or tuning an algorithm for training on unseen data requires significant experimentation. Now, talking about the robustness, if the model, cost function, and learning algorithm are selected appropriately, the resulting ANN can become robust. So ANN capabilities falls, within the following broad categories: function approximation or regression analysis, including the time series prediction, fitness approximation, and modeling. Similarly, classification, which includes pattern and sequence recognition, novelty detection, and sequential decision making. And then data processing, which includes filtering, clustering, blind source separation, and compression. And there are robotics, which include directing manipulators and prosthesis. Finally, I'm just coming over to the application part, which is because of their ability to reproduce and model nonlinear processes, artificial neural networks have found applications in many disciplines. Application area include system identification and control, like vehicle control, trajectory prediction, process control, natural resource management, quantum chemistry, general brain playing, pattern recognition, which includes radar systems, face identification, signal classification, 3D reconstruction, object recognition, and more. Similarly, sequence recognition, where it is gesture, speech, handwritten, and printed text recognition. medical diagnosis, finance, exemplary, automated trading systems. Then we have data mining, visualization, machine translation, social network filtering, email spam filtering. So these are all, the fields where ANNs are used. And, ANNs have been used to diagnose several type of cancers as well, and to distinguish highly invasive cancer cell lines from less invasive lines using only cell-shaped information. Right. Now, ANNs have been used to accelerate reliability analysis of the infrastructures subject to natural disasters and to predict foundation settlements. ANNs have also been used for building, black box models in geoscience and hydrology. Now, ocean modeling and coastal engineering, geomorphology, all these are areas of ANNs. ANNs have been employed in cybersecurity as well, with the objective to discriminate between, legitimate activities and malicious ones. Now, for example, machine learning has been used for classifying Android malware, for identifying domains belonging to threat actors, and for detecting URLs posing a security risk. Now, research is underway on ANN system designed for penetration testing, for detecting botnets, credit card frauds, and network intrusions. ANNs have been proposed, as a tool to solve the partial differential equations in physics and simulate the properties of many body of open quantum systems. In brain research, ANNs have studied, short-term behavior of individual neurons. The dynamics of neuron or the neural circuitry arise from, interactions between individual neurons, and how behavior can arise from abstract neural models that represent complete subsystems. Studies considered long and short-term plasticity of neural systems and their relation to learning and memory from the individual neuron to the system level. So this is all about artificial neural network today. I hope this was clear to you. And in the coming lectures, I am coming up with the continuation part of it, where we are going to learn what is the activation function, the associative memory, and some more topics that I have shown to you. So right now, I'm just closing this presentation to take you over the MCQ part of ANNs. Whatever you have learned today, I hope you'll be able to answer the questions. Let me quickly take you to the set of questions for today's MCQ on neural network. So this is the set of MCQs. Question number one, you can see question number two is about perceptron. Try to quickly answer both of them. Now let me take you to the next set of two questions. What is an auto-associative network? An input neuron has weights 1, 2, 3, 4. The transfer function is linear with the constant of proportionality being equal to 2. The inputs are 4, 10, 5, and 20 respectively. What will be the output? Question number 5. Which of the following is true? Now let me take you to the next set of questions. Question number 6 and 7. Which of the following is true for neural networks? We have seen you can try out for the correct answer. And what are the advantages of neural networks over conventional computers? To the next set of questions. Question number 8, 9, and 10. 8 says each of the following is true. Single layer associative neural network do not have the ability to. Just select the correct answer, whichever you think is correct, which is true for neural networks. These are the three important options that are given to you. Just select out of these three. Let's say this is question number next, that is 10. What is neurosoftware? So if you select the correct answer that you think is right. So with this, I hope you were able to answer all the questions correctly and you were able to learn about ANN basics. Coming lectures, I'm coming up with the more in-depth knowledge of ANNs with its activation functions and other things. So stay tuned and keep on learning. Thank you so much.